welcome to the Marlene Saunders show where we have real talk, real conversations, and you're welcome to it. If it's your first time here, I would love for you to subscribe. I have topics, I do live streams, I have videos. So hit the subscribe button, leave me a comment, and kindly give me a like. So, today on the show, we're going to be talking about something that's a hard subject to talk about. Initially, I wanted to talk about this. I'm having one of the many sleepless nights dealing with insomnia. And for me, this is like therapy, sharing it with you. When you help others, you also help yourself. So, let's just go for it. Um, Finding out they have a terminal illness. Not This is not easy to talk about, but important to talk about. So for me, the one that I found I had a terminal illness was my father. And me and my dad, we had a really close relationship. My dad was and is my best friend. And we used to spend a lot of time together. But, you know, I think what hurt me the most was my dad never told me that he was sick. I think that came with a lot of hurt and anger for me. I didn't find out that my father was sick until I had already planned to move out of the country, and I think that's when he told me, because I don't know if it's because he was afraid that he would never see me after I left. I don't know what it was, but he waited until I had already made my arrangements, and before I left he told me that um, I don't want you to hear from anybody else, but dad's sick. So, me not understanding what that meant, I was like, okay, well, you need me to go get you some medicine, some NyQuil. I'm thinking it's a cold. And he was like, it's more than that, honey. So, he showed me the papers from the doctor. And that's where I saw in black and white, like, the worst thing that you can ever read when it comes to somebody that you love: cancer, stage 3. And being, working in the medical field, I know that there is 4 stages of cancer. So, you know, when I heard it initially, you read it, I'm reading it, I'm looking at him, and according to what I'm seeing, he looks like a healthy individual. But your mind doesn't want to process things. It was just initially like the shock of it, you know taking it in, and also the hurt of not knowing, because I did find out later that he knew for some time that he was sick. I don't know for how long, because he never told me that, but he knew for some time. I do believe it was he knew for some years that he was not well. And I think because he knew that it was imminent. Um, so, because I had already made plans and everything, I had a contract to move out of the country. So, I had to follow through. I moved out of the country, and I think during that time, I lost so much weight, worrying, fretting over, am I going to get that phone call? Am I going to get that phone call to say that my dad passed away? I worried about that the whole time I was there on that assignment, 15 months out of the country. Um, you just worry for everything. And I had a lot of resentment for my father because another thing of that is he had made a decision to not get any, you know, not get any chemotherapy, not get any radiation. That came with a lot of anger too. So I was feeling the pain on multiple levels. I was upset because he waited so long to tell me. I was upset with him because he didn't try to get any treatment. I was upset that he waited until I moved away before he told me what was going on. So I had all of that when it came to finding out everything. And I also didn't share that, when he finally told me that he had cancer, I he put the charge on me for me to not tell anybody. So it's a lot to cope with. It's a lot that I had to handle, and I had to do so secretively. And it caused me to, I didn't even care about eating. I lost about, I would say about 20 pounds or more, on that assignment. Um, a little bit of was being homesick from moving out of the country. A little bit was the fear. A lot of it was anger and sadness and depression. So all of those things happened to me finding out, that my father had cancer. And, just hearing the word cancer, it's just a horrible word to hear because you know that eventually it's going to end in loss. When I finally wrapped my head around it, that the situation wasn't going to get better because for a while I had said in my mind that, it's going to get better. I had convinced myself, you know, it will get better. Don't listen to the doctors, more get more than one diagnosis. Go to another doctor and another doctor, because the next doctor will tell you that it's not true, that was just a misdiagnosis, right? But that wasn't the case. So on the next video in the series, I'm gonna share how I, you know, caring for caring for someone who has cancer, because I think that's also an important conversation. So, has anybody dealt with this, personally, or do you know someone who, found out that somebody that they love had a terminal illness? How do you cope with it, or are you currently coping with it? Um, One thing I will say is, you're going to feel the gamut of emotions. You're going to feel shock. You're going to feel anger, sadness. All I can say is let yourself feel all of those things because you have a right to feel that way. I felt guilty, you know, I felt guilty a lot that I was feeling this way and he was the one that was sick. So, you know, let yourself feel whatever it is that you feel or you felt. So now I feel good about talking about my story. And there is a lot. that comes with hearing those words. You don't want to talk about it. There's shame associated with it. So I like to have these conversations because it's real. It's life is something that's happening to many people. And for anybody who needs to hear it, you're not alone. So thank you so much for listening to my story. You have just tuned into the Marlene Saunders Show, where we have real talk, real conversations, and you're welcome to it. If this is your first time clicking on this channel, subscribe to this channel, kindly like, and leave me a comment in the comment section below. I would love to hear from you, and I will see you on part 2.